That's the way computers talk to each other. Perfect world in our heads.
Cosmic cycle of life and death will begin again.
DevOps friends! Did you notice I made the transition a little bit less loud? Because I figured I keep losing followers because they're suffering from an heart attack whenever I go live, so I pulled down the volume on the transition a little bit to not shock everyone. Hope you're having a great day. It's Tuesday, another day for a live stream. I'm Jochen, the Monospace Mentor. How you doing? And today I'm going to keep working on stuff that we've already touched on in previous streams. I'd like to finish my blog post about the Podman container hosting I set up recently to run my own URL shortening service. And after that, I'm going to do some more writing on teaching materials. Maybe I'm going to work on my SecOps 1 course, or I might also be do some writing on a video for junior IT engineers that I'd like to publish on YouTube. We'll see, whatever tickles my fancy at that point. But first, let's get the Podman article ready for prime time and actually launch it, publish it during this stream. It's mostly polish that needs to be done at this point, and I'm pretty confident that we'll get it out. And of course, let's make this an interactive show. I mean, I can do a 2 or 3 hour monologue if it's necessary, but we'll all enjoy it a little bit more if this becomes a conversation. So if there's anything that you'd like to ask, or if there's something that you'd like to share, then please post it to chat, either here on Twitch or over on YouTube or over on live.monospacementor.com, which is my own cast instance. And with that, I'll switch to updates if there are any, but I don't think there are. Any news since last week? Not really. Not really. Maybe something pops into my mind later, and I'll definitely tell you. And until then, I guess we'll work on the article. So here's the article. It's called Self-Hosting Web Applications Using Podman. And in it I explain why I chose the use case of a URL shortener, why I decided to host that myself and not use one of the off-the-shelf ones that are available. Let's accept a few improvement suggestions from Language Tool. And I discovered that I can make my code blocks a little bit more readable by using a WordPress plugin. Unfortunately, the one that I favor doesn't work on our own hosting platform. For some reason, it does something related to the file system, and that's where our hosting platform is a little bit special, because it doesn't allow write access to the code of the WordPress website for not only security reasons, but also because of deployment reasons to a distributed infrastructure. And so this plugin doesn't work, but I found a different one that is even easier to use. It's not as polished or flexible, but it does the job. So let's see how we can format these things. So this is a bash command. This is another shell command. For the Snarble joining us, hello, how you doing? I wish you a happy Tuesday. Another shell block, and more shell, and another shell. Oh, did you get some feedback? That demo is amazing. 1 kilobyte of demo code. It's just like unimaginable to me. And I'm pretty sure there are people who can appreciate the effort and skill that goes into these demos better than I, and so their feedback carries even more weight. Happy for you to get some positive feedback. Need to be careful not to go on autopilot and mark these YAML blocks as shell 2. That would of course be silly, because I mean it's the YAML blocks that can use the syntax highlighting the most. That's another bash shell. That's an ini file. I'm not sure what to choose here. Is it properties? Not really sure. We can try and see what comes from it. Let's set it to properties. Here's more shell. That's YAML. Shell, and that is more YAML. There's always more YAML when you go into Kubernetes territory, even if it's just with Podman. Okay, save that draft and let's take a look at it. Okay, that YAML does look good. Much better than the raw code blocks I had before. Okay. No, that does look good. And I did actually already write the conclusion down here too. So I guess we could add the TSR call to action here. Let's scan the whole article again, and I think we can then go ahead and publish it. This was quicker than I expected. I thought I had a little bit more writing to do, but hey, that's fine. Maybe we should do a little bit more tuning in terms of catching the interest of people. because this article is aimed at people who are interested in self-hosting, in operations, tasks. So what's the hook here? That's something that I still need to learn, where I really am at a complete novice in terms of writing enticing content. I mean, I can write a technical teardown of something, no problem, but making it more appealing is something that I still have to put a lot of effort into. And hey, that's an interesting challenge. It's a great thing to still be learning stuff at my age. Now, how would we set this up? Let's try something like this. Container-based deployment is a neat way to self-host an application. However, I always try to not go overboard with complexity. Not to go, I guess. Not to go overboard with complexity. Why I won't easily join the chorus of Kubernetes disciples. Comes to oh no. That's why I, or let's say in I'll explain how I how I deployed my own shelter system in Podman. Phrase this differently. Instead, I explored using Podman and Quadlet to be much simpler alternative of Podman and Quadlet. Okay. A Linux developer joining us. Hello, yep. I'm just about to finish up my article, how I deployed the URL shortener cut recently, which I did on my live stream here, using Podman and Quadlet. It is... Are you familiar with the... Are you proselytizing Quadlet to me? I don't think it's necessary. This article will tell you all about it. If I can find the right way to phrase this introductory paragraph here. How you doing, the Linux developer? That's an amazing name. I mean, it's all in the name there. Oh, it's a... So that's actually, let me just share what the Linux developer said. I have been using them, which means they are referring to Quadlets, since they were added to Rocky. That's an interesting information because hey, hello Hyde, how you doing? I did install a Fedora workstation server because I knew that I'd get a very recent version of Podman and Quadlet on it. However, of course, Fedora Workstation isn't quite made for server use, so I tried Ubuntu the other day and found that the Podman version is actually quite a bit behind. And so I'm actually looking for Linux distributions that are server grade and still offer a quite recent version of Podman with Quadlet built in. Ubuntu doesn't seem to be the way to go there. I thought about CentOS. No, not CentOS. I keep confusing them because they both start with C. What I meant was CoreOS. But I'm not sure how CoreOS fares on this front. Rocky has Podman 5.2, says the Linux developer. That's amazing. And Delayed Rain, of course, adding Arch to the mix. Makes perfect sense. Arch definitely has a more recent version of Podman available. I'm actually more drawn to Rocky Linux in that regard. Not only because it's, yeah, of course, it's related to the Red Hat family of Linux distributions, and thus pretty familiar to me as someone who's been using Fedora on their workstation for quite a while now. And I agree with the Linux developer. It's not quite a server OS, but a great desktop OS. I did use Manjaro back in the day, a few years ago, and packaging issues actually made me switch to Fedora. I'm well aware that that's anecdotal, and it's one bad experience that is already far in the past. But it does make me a little bit reluctant to check out the Arch-based distributions again. And never change a winning team, I guess. I'm very happy with having Fedora on my workstation, Bluefin in particular, and running Ubuntu on servers. However, yeah, I definitely am inclined to try something from the Fedora side of things, or the Red Hat side of things, that's different from Fedora Workstation, because I feel like, yeah, it's a little bit misplaced on a server. So I'll definitely give Rocky Linux a try, simply to see how it feels. Thanks for that information, the Linux developer. That's brilliant. I mean, delayed rating is, of course, not wrong either. It is what you make it. It's not anything by default very minimal. Yeah, I mean, you just need to adopt your processes and administration routines to the distribution that you use. So, Hyde swears by Debian. I thought about checking out Debian as a server distribution as well, because we've been using Ubuntu LTS for a long time, and I got a little bit wary when Red Hat did their license change last year, and I can't really remember what else was going on, and I got a little bit of anxiety thinking, oh, what if Canonical falls in the same trap and does something stupid? And they did something stupid with Incus, by the way. And so I thought, maybe it's a good idea to check out Debian as a replacement for our Ubuntu infrastructure, which of course should be pretty straightforward. Rocky looks a little bit more interesting because it's going to be new to me. And hearing that the Linux developer is a friend of Rocky, and Hyde apparently uses Rocky at work too. Oh, okay. I can see. Well, let's pause the conversation for a minute until the ad break is over. In the meantime, I'll think of a wording for this. Searching for viable alternatives, I recently explored the much simpler alternative of Podman and Quadlet during a few of my live streams. In this post, I will tell you about the results. Alrighty, ad break should be over, right? So let's continue this conversation. Yeah, so what I was saying was Rocky Linux is something that is a little bit more interesting to me because it's something fresh. I've never used Red Hat or RHEL adjacent distributions in production. I never used Red Hat Enterprise Linux itself. I don't think I've ever used CentOS either. So using something like Rocky would be an interesting exploration as well. And the Linux developer asks, is this Ghosty or WordPress? It's WordPress, and I'll be happy to increase the font size for you a little bit. Yeah, I chose WordPress for my website, not only because my company is specialized in high-performance WordPress hosting, it's also because with all the available WordPress plugins, it's easy for me to, for example, manage my membership community from my website instead of using an external service or something that's completely separate. And so far, I'm pretty happy with that choice, to be honest. Regardless of all the, let's say, political goings-on in the WordPress space that make me pretty sad. From a technical standpoint, I'm still happy with running my website on WordPress. Okay, so the Linux developer chose Rocky as their first home lab OS. Yeah, I think I'll definitely use my home lab to explore Rocky too. I need to keep that in the back of my mind to download the ISO and give it a try. So let's get this article out into the wild, shall we? Let's see, what does this introduction look like now? Container-based deployment is a neat way to self-host an application. However, I always try not to go overboard with complexity. That's why I won't immediately join the chorus of Kubernetes disciples when members of my DevOps community ask me how to deploy container workloads. Searching for viable alternatives, I recently explored the much simpler alternative of Podman and Quadlet during a few of my live streams. In this post, I will tell you about the results. Yep, yeah, I think that pretty much nails it. Delayed Rain asks, what do you do with home labs? Here on the side of my desk, I have a Dell Precision 5820 with a Xeon CPU and 128 gigs of RAM, 4 spinning Rust hard drives and a 4TB NVMe SSD. And I use it for all the services that run this house, things like Home Assistant, Pi-hole, then lots of containers via Portainer, for example, Jellyfin for my movie collection, and audio bookshelf for all the audio books that I bought, and what else do we run in there? Yeah, stuff like that. And of course, I use this machine for explorations as well. So spinning up a MySQL cluster to try out new things, or a Kubernetes cluster, or things like that. And I'm in the early stages of a project that I call Project PubMox, which is going to be a public Proxmox cluster. Public meaning available to members of my membership community. If you are not familiar with the server room, it's my membership community for DevOps practitioners. We are a bunch of very friendly and inclusive people who help each other grow in the space. So if people are trying to level up in their career, maybe switch to an operations job, an SRE job or something like that, that's what we support each other doing. And we have different... Pixel Buttercup being one of the members of the server room. Thank you so much, Pixel Buttercup, for your Prime subscription. That's really, really kind of you, and I really appreciate it. So what we do in the server room is basically help each other get ahead in all the DevOps things, and there are different membership levels, and at the gold level you can already join all my courses, and I'll be working on one of these courses later during the stream probably. And what I intend to do is to add access to this Proxmox cluster consisting of 3 mini PCs to the perks of the membership as well, so that people can spin up their own VMs, spin up a Kubernetes cluster to try things out, to run some test workloads, stuff like that. We are still in the stages of working this out. That's definitely something that I'm going to pursue over the next few coming weeks. I already have the switch for it here, so I can run everything in its own VLAN, and I'm still researching which mini PCs I'm going to buy. I don't yet have a Jenkins course, the Linux developer, I'm sorry. There will definitely be something about CI/CD in the future, but oh man, writing these courses is so much work and takes so much time, especially if you're doing it on the side of a day job. It's really, really hard. I wish I would be able to do this with a little bit more time, which means financial support could definitely help, and becoming a member in the server room could be one way you can support me doing this work. I won't be able to hire you, the Linux developer, even if I would love to. The budget is not there yet. Only Element is joining us here on Twitch as well. I have moved from Bluefin after 4 months to Arch. It was really limited because of the immutability. How do you enjoy it? I enjoy it a lot, to be honest. I don't mind the atomic way that Fedora Silverblue and therefore Bluefin does things. I pretty much get by using Flatpaks for my graphical applications, and most of my command line stuff comes from Homebrew, which is already built into Bluefin, fortunately. And if push comes to shove, I use DistroBox to get stuff running that otherwise wouldn't be available. For example, I use DaVinci Resolve for video editing, and there is a ready-made DistroBox for Resolve that has all the dependencies in place and makes it really, really easy to get things running. Before OBS was available as a Flatpak with lots of plugins as well, I also used a DistroBox-based OBS installation. The Linux developer signing off. Have a great Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by, and talk soon. So, yeah, it's basically Flatpak plus Homebrew plus containers, and DistroBox in particular. And that does it for me. And the nice thing about DistroBox is, of course, that I can then run any distribution inside the DistroBox that I like. So I do have Ubuntu DistroBoxes, I have Fedora-based DistroBoxes, and I even had an Arch-based DistroBox that I did not upgrade anymore at one point. So yeah, with that, I'm pretty happy. Nagashi Gaming joining us, asking, hey everyone, DistroBox? You mean like a VM? No, it's not a VM, it's actually a container. If you're not familiar with the difference, I'm happy to explain. The nice thing about DistroBox is it takes normal Linux containers, but integrates them with your host system in a way that it's basically transparent. So if you spin up a shell in a distro box, it already has your home directory mounted. It has all the environment variables mounted. It has the necessary devices available that some applications might need, for example, to access the GPU or something like that. You can even run graphical applications from inside a distro box, and it doesn't really show. And it's not a concept of Bluefin per se, but Bluefin is prepared for the use of distro boxes. So for example, it comes with a single command that installs the DaVinci Resolve distro box for you. You just enter DaVinci Resolve and it pulls down the container image and installs everything. So Bluefin does make things easier. You're not tied to Bluefin to use the advantages of DistroBox. It'll certainly run on any Fedora-based distribution. That's definitely something that I can tell from experience. But DistroBox will also run on Ubuntu or other distributions too. Because in the end, it's just Docker containers, basically, or Podman containers. And yeah, it makes things a lot easier. Before Bluefin really integrated Homebrew as a package manager for the command line, I actually ran my whole development environment from inside a distro box. To make things the most transparent, I simply installed a Fedora workstation distro box on top of my Fedora Silverblue workstation here. So I had a fully mutable distribution inside that distro box, and there I installed all the command line utilities and curl bashed my way around things, and that worked too. I also run a few things inside VMs, most notably a small Windows 11 VM that I need to install hardware-specific stuff, like when I used an ATEM Mini video console, the control software is not available for Linux. I don't think it's even available for macOS. Yeah, it probably is. Blackmagic does support macOS quite nicely, but I had to run the application in Windows, so that's what I have a small VM for. Welcome to the Zach Nagashi Gaming. Thanks for the follow. So yeah, I mean, I can pull this on screen actually. Let's get this on screen here. So DistroBox, how do they describe it? Use any Linux distribution inside your terminal. It's definitely something that's terminal based. Enable both backward and forward compatibility with software and freedom to use whatever distribution you're more comfortable with. DistroBox uses Podman, Docker, or Lilliput to create containers using the Linux distribution of your choice. And the created container will be tightly integrated with the host, allowing sharing of the home directory, external storage, USB devices, and graphical apps, and audio. Yeah, so this all works quite nicely. I mean, I can actually demonstrate it easily. So what distro boxes do I have around here? Yeah, let's simply go into the Fedora apps distro box. I'll do distro box, enter -n Fedora apps. And now I'm inside this DistroBox container, and if you take a look at let's see, OS release, you can see this DistroBox is based on Fedora Linux Workstation 39, so it's been around for a while, and I can now do all the things that I can do on a Fedora 39 I'm not even sure if I still use this distro box. It might have been made obsolete by other installations here. And so we might actually be able to get rid of that. And it does say down here, I just noticed here, it says support ends 2024 11/12. So it's already past its end of life date. So we need to replace it anyway. And I'm really not sure if I still have any applications in here that I need. I might need it for QMK to compile keyboard firmware, but we'll be able to replace that. So as you can see, that's quite easy. And only element says, can you please share your bash and C shell config? Yeah, that's not a problem. You simply check out my .files and you'll find everything in there. I keep them up to date on a daily basis. In this case, it's actually nice that it shows the host name, because of course the host name here doubles as the DistroBox name, so I can actually tell that I'm inside the Fedora apps DistroBox, and if I spin up a different DistroBox, I know where I am and what to expect, which package manager to use, for example. If you have any more questions about DistroBox and stuff, keep asking. And who was it who asked? Only Element. Would that have changed your outlook on Bluefin? Had you known about the alternative of using DistroBox to fill in the gaps where the atomic nature of Bluefin was limiting you? I'm very curious. HiDAS, how's the networking on that DistroBox? It's more or less integrated into the host system. Since it's a container, it's not really, it doesn't have its own network infrastructure or even network drivers or interfaces like that. So I could actually probably just go into the Fedora apps DistroBox and, for example, do an well, we definitely can do a ping, right? So if I ping my, we have an issue with the terminal. Ghosty isn't known by Fedora 39. We should be able to, for example, ping my Proxmox machine. Yeah, we can. So the DistroBoxes simply use the host system's networking. And the nice thing about these DistroBoxes is they are containers with their own file system. That's why the etc OS release file was Fedora specific. However, your home directory and other important files are mounted as volumes inside this DistroBox container, which means that everything that is important and should be persisted, namely your home directory, is preserved. And I could, for example, simply throw away the Fedora 39 DistroBox because it's outdated, spin up a Fedora 41 DistroBox as its replacement, and I would already have all my working files in my home directory available. All that I would have to do would be install the necessary software applications inside this new DistroBox. And of course, that's also something that you can automate either by bash scripting or even throwing something like Ansible at it. And yeah, I'm still quite the fan of using DistroBox. The only thing that made me use it less is that Bluefin now has very solid homebrew support, so I can actually install all the necessary command line utilities, starting with Tmax and NeoVim, on my host machine. and not have to go into a container where specific tools then aren't available yet and need to be installed. That gets a little bit tedious over time, but it's a nice fallback when Homebrew isn't the solution. So yeah, definitely something I can recommend trying out. Nagashi Game says, my only pet peeve with Linux is the Control-C and Control-V on terminals. Yeah, but I got used to using Control-Shift-C and Control-Shift-V quite quickly. Of course, yeah, Control-C has a specific purpose in a terminal. Control-V does too. It helps you enter special characters, especially control sequences. So getting used to Control-Shift for cut and paste wasn't too much of a chore for me. Fuller says in Windows Terminal they switch to Control-Shift-C as well for copying, right? Oh, but I think that's it's nice that all the terminals seem to become aligned on that, so that it's easy to remember, and by now it's muscle memory for me. And I agree with Hyde, especially if you remap caps lock to control, it's easy because now you can even press both of the keys with your thumb or something if you like, and so that makes it definitely a little bit easier. Fuller Snow says, yeah, but the problem is everywhere else it's Control-C. Yeah, I can see how that can throw you. Okay, but that's why you don't use Windows. Back to the article. Let me make sure everything is as it's supposed to be. Why is URL shortener? Why I host it myself? How to run cut in a Podman port? How to expose it to the internet? How to manage it all using systemd, and how to safely store secrets in Podman. Yeah, that's basically it. I won't check the whole copy here again. Maybe do a few stylistic changes, but other than that, I'll accept things as they are. We could use line numbers because the new plugin for my code syntax highlighting, nope, it does not support line numbers, doesn't it? Title. Oh, that's a shame. The other plugin would have supported line numbers. Oh no, yeah, it says line numbers. Okay. So maybe let's enable line numbers at least for the YAML files. Nagashi Gaming says, my infrastructure setup is way better than my writing. I'm glad there are people that actually put time into writing nice articles about tech stuff. Yeah, but it's actually so much work. Oh, I hate it so much. I hated that it's so much more work than getting the tech stuff done. I think the ratio between how long it took me to set this up using Podman, even though I had to find out a lot of details, especially when it came to Quadlet and these things, because those things aren't really greatly documented, even though it'll probably take me 2 to 3 times as much time to write this up than it did to set it up. Fuller Snabel says, great technical writers are a great asset. Yeah, I try to become one. That's my learning journey, while I try to help people learn the technical side of DevOps, all the development and ops side of things. I try to teach myself in the process to become a great, on the didactics side of things, on the writing side of things, video creating side of things. So even though, so if you'll ever be in one of my courses and feel like wishing you were where I am on the technical side, know that I am going through the same kind of struggles trying to become a really good instructor. Nagashi Game said, I'm writing a Kubernetes operator for work and I was away for a month on paternal leave. Nobody picked that work up, but even with docs, I don't think anyone would. I can see why that is. That's something that I'd like to try myself as well, but I'll first have to teach myself Go too. I've been a Ruby developer for more than a decade, but it's coming up on 15 years now. And I'm so happy with Ruby that I never had much incentive to do something else. But with Kubernetes and the need of being able to easily deploy command line tools and things like that, it's definitely something that I'd like to get to in 2025. Sumerial joining us. Hello, how are you doing? Yeah, Pixel Buttercup says Go is amazing. I agree, Go is definitely a language that I expect to be really fun for me. Even though it'll be quite the change in terms of object orientation, because in Ruby I'm really into OOP, and Go basically does away with most of the OOP things, at least with the obvious OOP things like classes or inheritance. It does have classes though. Yeah, that's what's going to make it very interesting. Praxeus joining us, another TSR member. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Nagashi Game says Go is amazing, but also kind of sucks sometimes. All languages do, even though you can really, and I'm really evangelizing here, happily, you can really tell that the Ruby inventors' main goal has been and still is developer happiness. Ruby coding definitely makes me happy. It not only does the job with choosing the right jobs, it is really, really fun to code in. Hopefully Go will come close to that at least. Hyde asks 2026 then, Zig or Rust? I guess Rust. Not that I'm that into Rust, but as far as I can tell, from a very superficial perspective, Zig would be pretty close to Go in many regards. And I think Rust might add more in terms of learning, in terms of widening my horizon than Zig would do. But Zig definitely is something that is interesting too. I was torn if maybe I should do Zig instead of Go, but with the whole Kubernetes ecosystem still pretty much being based on Go, it's the better choice for me. So we wanted to not only enable line numbers for YAML, I also want to include a few references to these line numbers. So let's first add line numbers to all the YAML blocks, even though we might not need them. But it makes things easier. I think I'll also switch on line numbers for the quadlet here, because I'd like to reference this network equals host line here. We add a line number here. That's a longer file that could use line numbers. Okay, brilliant. Okay, that's that. Save draft. .8086 assembler is the way to go for Snabel. Yeah, that I can see. Yeah, Ghosty is written in Zig, interestingly. Command line tools are all written in Rust, regardless if it's ISA or YASE or Zelich. All these things are written in Rust. Dust, of course, is written in Rust, the DU replacement. So, no, Vimium doesn't work in here. So, let's go up here where I... Oh, wait, I have to save that draft and update the preview. Because... Redis enabled is line 9. To line 9 with the Redis enable setting. Nagashi Gaming asks, are you also self-hosting the blog? Yes. Well, it's kind of self-hosting because it runs on my company's hosting platform. My company is specialized in high-performance web hosting for Drupal and WordPress. So that, of course, was part of the reason why I based my why I chose WordPress for my website in the first place, even though it first ran as a static website using Jekyll, of course. But then I realized, yeah, I need more capabilities like membership management and things like that. And that's why I then switched from Jekyll to WordPress. But yeah, finding a hosting company for the blog wasn't hard. And if you are interested in what hosting platform I'm running with my company, here's the link. It's basically an SRE service specialized in Drupal and WordPress. Proxeo says this music track is going to summon Balthazar. It might actually, yeah. It's a new playlist that I'm trying out, and so far I'm quite happy with it. It claimed to be royalty-free music, but I'm pretty sure there was a cover version of a very well-known song earlier that can't be royalty-free. I can't imagine that having been royalty-free. Okay, so where else am I referencing details? Default domain environment variable. Let's reference a line number here. That's still line number 13, right? No, that's a different file, huh? Yeah, default domain, line 28. I set the value for default domain host port mapping in line. Where's the host IP? Line 40. And then there's the host network in this quadlet. That's line 8. Without the network host setting in line 8. Yeah. Now we are pretty much done. And you can also say, it's easy to tell, that's line 3. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 following. Can't say that. Because I haven't shown that block yet. Nagashi Gamer said, I'm trying to self-host music, but it's kind of a pain. What do you mean self-host music? Running your own music library? There are quite a few very nice applications and services around. Getting music through only NZB and torrent is quite a pain. Then there's no recommendation algorithm. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I do have quite the music collection from before, when there were streaming services, when I was still buying CDs. But not being able to jump from something or say, oh yeah, that I love that band, I still love that band, play a radio playlist for that with similar music of the same genre or from contemporary artists and bands. That's definitely convenient, and I'd love to get some recommendations there as well. Funkwhale.audio. What's Funkwhale.audio? Let me take a look at that. .audio. Is that another TLD? Interesting. A platform for audio. Your music, your podcasts. Uh-huh. Decentralized and federated. It's just a Fediverse service. Huh. Interesting. Even though I'm quite active on the Fediverse, I've never heard of Funkwhale. Thanks for that. Interesting. Definitely will take a look at it. more closely later. Awesome. Another thing to test. Yeah, you're right. User Gifted Johnson joining us on Owncast over there on live.monospacementor.com. Welcome, welcome. All right, I think we are finally at the point where we can publish this, even though there might be a few hidden issues. I don't mind. I mean, we can still fix and do another deployment, fix things in prod, as they say. But I'd like to get this out to people. So why not hit publish here? Let's see. We do have a proper URL. We should have the learning category set. And but no idea where these two tags came from, no and random. That's really strange. Maybe wrong Windows syndrome. That's definitely tagged Linux. And let's add another tag for deployment. And even Podman. What else? There was something else. Yeah, the featured image. Image is always nice. Can we find... I mean, we can at least use the Podman logo here, right? I love those sulkies. Okay. Can I rename that from here? Nope. Let's show it folder. We'll rename it to Podman header. There we go. Let's update the preview. How does it look? Bad. That did not work as intended. Hi, it says, I love doing my documentation in Markdown, some Git hooks and Boom Online. I'm not familiar with Boom, but yeah, Markdown is amazing, and I love that I'm able to even publish my whole course materials writing in Markdown and simply pushing them to GitLab pages. Definitely something. Gifted Johnson says, to be honest, after a good pause of Oncast, I found out I started to learn programming. Do you have a GitHub or something? Yeah, I do. It's github.com/gwiz and gitlab.com/gwiz as well. Why did that not work? It's too wide. 884 by 293 might not be the correct resolution for the featured image. Hide asks when I'm going to move to Codeberg. There's quite a likelihood that I will eventually switch to Codeberg because, of course, I sympathize with them, and I would like to support them as well. But I'm still quite happy with GitLab, and I'm not sure how much effort it would take to switch stuff like CI to Codeberg's alternative. That's time I don't really have at the moment. I mean, I have far too little time for my coursework as it is, so I'll try to keep bike shedding and yak shaving at a minimum. Featured image resolution. A comprehensive guide. Wow, there are comprehensive guides on WordPress featured image size. Interesting. So, choosing the right dimensions is crucial. Yeah, as we can see, 1200 by 628. So we would have to blow this up a little bit. That shouldn't be too much of a problem though. Open with GNU Image Manipulation Program 2.10. Let's pull you. Hey! Let's pull you over here. And I think we'll want to have a white background. Yeah, I think let's new layer. Layer name background. Background color. I think we need to switch that to white. Bada bing. Background should actually be in the background though. Alright, that's better. And let's see. Canvas size is 884. So we wanted it to be 1200 by what? 628. That's very specific. No idea how that comes to be. Okay. Let's center our image. Fill with background color. Yes, please. Resize layers. All. Oh, wow. That's quite big, but yeah. No problem. Hi, Das. Are you happy with Kagi? I am. I tried them out earlier on and was quite happy. Then their CEO behaved like a bit like an idiot. That's when I switched back to DuckDuckGo, but in the end I realized that Kagi does have quite a few advantages in terms of search result quality, and so yeah, I'm happy to pay them to save me from all the AI slop. Competent Perman over on Owncast on live.monospacementor.com says GitHub Actions for the win. I never got far into GitHub Actions because my company runs its repositories on GitLab, and I run my personal ones as well, there as well. And so I'm most familiar with the YAML that's required by GitLab CI, and I'm going to stick with it for the time being. So let's us export this. this? Why isn't this sorted by modification date? That would make things a lot easier. It sorts the folders first. Okay. There we go. But where's here? Podman header. Yeah, export that. Replace it. Export. Bada bing. And now let's get rid of this one. Upload the new variant. That should now be 1200 by 628, set as featured. This does look nicer. Save. Preview. That might be a caching artifact. No, it's not. Oh, come on. Don't make my life so hard. Nagashi Fedi over on Oncast asks, have you tried Search NG? I haven't yet. I wouldn't even remember it, hadn't you just mentioned it. I saw it mentioned a few weeks ago, but only once, and then I forgot about it again. Is it any good? Nagashi Game says, had to go to Oncast to see chat from Hyde. Funk Whale seems amazing. Yeah, that's a downside of streaming to different sites. Even though I'm able to pull chat messages on screen, you can only see those that I actually pick up, and not all of them. Now, that is strange. Should I have renamed it? The image, I mean? Let's open this in a new tab. It's the 1200 by, right? Image info. Nope, that's the old one still. How interesting. It didn't it overwrite that? Oh, it's the CDN. The automatic CDN already cached the image. Okay, we can fix that then. I have no problem with renaming that. Let's call it Podman Featured. We will remove that. Remove this new version. So we need to switch our image names if we replace something. I see. Logo, but that should be alt text. Boom. Save. Preview. Ah, es mucho mejor. Good. Oh wait, Search NG is a self-hosted service. I wasn't aware of that. But maybe that was also because why I wasn't too interested in it, because self-hosting my search didn't sound like something that I would like to do. Only Element asks, have you talked about Kage already? Yeah, I said I'm quite happy with it. It really provides good search results, no AI slop, no ads and stuff. Paying for stuff actually pays, I guess. Yeah, I dropped off Kagi for a while last year because of their CEO's strange behavior, but in the end I needed something that worked for me, and Kagi has been doing the best job in terms of search engines lately, I think. Oh, getting a headache. What's happening? That's definitely another song that's not royalty free. What theme song is that? I should know it. I feel it in my guts that I should know what theme song that is. I mean, I should be able to actually simply ask Twitch for that. Okay, it was from Dune. Ah, of course. Oh, of course. Well, with the header issue resolved, I think it's time to hit publish after 2 hours. Almost 2 hours working on refining this article. It's finally time to hit publish. And here we go. This took a surprising amount of effort. So yeah, I guess if it hurts, do it more often. I need to get writing more often, and hopefully this stream will give me enough material to write about. Speaking of writing, I think I'd like to do some more writing. Now I have to decide, will I write stuff in my SecOps course, which is going to be named Shell Scripting for Cybersecurity Engineers, or am I going to start writing a new video script? I will decide after the ad break. I think I'm going to work on SecOps. Why not? Let's do some light writing here about shell scripting. All right, we should be back from the ad break. I decided to continue writing stuff for my course materials for shell scripting for cybersecurity engineers. And let's get the preview on here. And if you'd like to take a look at the course material yourself, that's also not a problem. Here you go. Okay, let's write something about standard in, standard out, and standard error. Hyde says, oh, Dracula, that's way better. Yeah, definitely. I switched away from the green screen back to a proper color theme. And yeah, things should be much easier to read now. Okay, what will we write about standard in, standard out, and standard error? Shell commands. Don't access input and output devices such as the keyboard and the screen respectively. I think there should be a comma around respectively. Directly. Instead, they connect to so-called channels provided by the shell software.
Hide the planet! Hide the planet!
Shut up and get in the car!
Hide the planet!
Thank you very much, Nagashi Gaming. Thanks for the subscription. You're making my day, folks. So-called channels provided by shell software. Yeah, have fun using your new emote. Okay, there are 3 default channels, standard channels, standard in is the channel from which a shell command gets its input. By default, standard in provides keyboard input. Standard out, in turn, is the channel to which the shell command sends its output. By default, the shell will display this output on the screen. We could, of course, go into the details of terminals and terminal emulations at this point, but I think it's not a good idea to bombard people with all these details at this point, at least. Let's not make this a bullet list. I see that there is another section in my outline about redirection and pipes, where we will go into details about this, but let's do a little bit of foreshadowing here. These channels can be redirected by the user. This makes it easy to make a command read from a file instead of the keyboard. For example, since the command, since it is the shell that, since in this case it is the shell that connects the file with standard in, commands don't even require a built-in ability to read files. They simply rely on reading from standard in. The same goes for the output of a command. If we want to I don't want to use the word redirect too often here. If we want to send it to a file or even a device like a printer, we can do so by redirecting standard out. And now for number 3. let's name them up here at least, I guess. Standard in, standard out. I guess they're already mentioned in the section title anyway. We can do the standard out. There's a little catch with redirecting a command's output, though. It's when this output contains error messages. It's when something goes wrong and the output contains error messages. Since we don't want them to to prevent those messages to go unnoticed or to places where we don't want them. The shell commands send, let's say most shell commands, or shell commands ideally send them not to standard out, but to standard error. Proxy says, unfortunately I finished my garage tasks. Got to run. Have a great stream. Thank you, Proxy. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. The error channel. Oops. Wait, let's do that surround once more. I need 2E. Yep, okay. I love Vim or NeoVim for features like this, where I can easily surround stuff in quotes or remove quotes, add brackets and all kinds of stuff. Okay. This is shaping up nicely. But I am feeling a headache coming up. Maybe I should get some fresh air. We did get something done today with the Portman article finally published. I'll wrap things up, get something to drink, and probably take a few steps outside. I will be back on Thursday though, and we'll most likely continue working on these course materials because, yeah, I aimed at starting the course in March. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'd like to get it ready for April. Q2, start of Q2, maybe do some promotion in March and then get it started in April. But for that to happen, there needs to be a lot more work done on this. I will have to rethink my daily schedule because, yeah, writing this will be a lot of work. Work that I'm happy to do because, hey, my whole career has been built on open source software, on people publishing and making the results of their work available for free. So it's time I pay things forward. All right, folks, I'll wrap things up and we'll look for someone to raid, shall we? Oh, you know what? What we haven't done in quite a while is play some words on stream. Are you going to join me doing some words on stream? Just to round things up for today? I'm sure it'll help with the headache too. Okay, let's set things up there. So give me just a second. Here we go. Logged into words on stream for quite a while. Now, let's get this going. All right. Now. Have to stop the music though. That's better. Delayed Rain asks, what should I look for when choosing a Linux server OS? Try a few different distributions that are meant to be run on servers. So, for example, Ubuntu, Rocky Linux, Debian, and I'd start with what I find the most fun and find the most sense-making, if that makes sense. Because if you want, you can basically use every Linux distribution as a server OS. Of course, not all are equally suited for that task. I wouldn't run a server on SteamOS, but yeah, I would probably use one of the ones that are most suitable for server use, which are a few of the general purpose ones, like Ubuntu. There's a server edition. Debian is definitely suitable as a server as well. And then, of course, there are the more enterprise grade distributions like Red Hat Enterprise Linux, where you have to actually sign up for support and the license fee and things like that. And the Linux distributions that are then derived from Red Hat Enterprise Linux, most of all Rocky Linux, and the other names escaping me. It's something with A, isn't it? Whenever I forget something, I keep remembering the initial letter, but help me out here. What's the other Red Hat derivative? It's not Alpine, it's not Asahi. Oh, my memory. I have a terrible memory for names. But I'm sure chat will find out, and in the meantime, we'll start the game. Let's get going. Take the letters and build words and post them to chat. Logging, of course. Once you've solved something, you need to wait for the timeline to pass the lock, by the way. Let me take care of the stream audio for a second here. All right, delayed rain, leading the pack. Does the ducking actually work? Ah, yes, it does. Okay. Just not for me. Ooh, biome is nice. So many four-letter words. We didn't finish level 2. Okay. Well, let's give this another try. Wow, not even level 2. I just spent the last few weekends watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy with my family. Okay, we crossed the threshold. Oh no, an ad break. Delayed rain pushed that over just before it was over. Okay, let's wait for the ad break to finish before we continue. 25 more seconds. It's the first time I see the newly designed worlds on stream, which probably is a sign for how long it was since I last played it. Alright, ad break done, let's go into round 2. Nice. One more point. Sorry about that. For Snabel. And Delayed Rain both got caught by the auto mod for naughty words. We still made it. Well, it looks like it was rigged, but I was faster, I guess. Anyway. Was I? I actually was. I think. I'm not sure. Oh, well, let's go to the next level. At least we went past level 2 this time. What's Snabel with the big words? I'm blocked! Oh no! Ooh, nice is also nice. No, it's actually not nice, but it's nice here. Two more points. Nice one. Lysis would probably have worked. Okie dokie. Level 4. Gotta love these new animations. Wow, that Esquire is pretty dank. More points. Oh dear. Has the game become more difficult? squire, of course. If there's an esquire, there's also a squire. Ooh, at the 11th hour. Good, good, good. Let's try level 5. It's getting harder. Or is it? I admire you people finding the long words. Level 5 down. Bint is a word. I tried it myself, but it didn't get accepted. I wish there was a way to see the solutions after a level. I think I could learn a lot of words. Ooh. Sneaking in that beef in the last second. Nice. Okay, level 7. That's respectable. Better than level 2, I guess. Oh, one of these letters is fake. Try and find the odd one out. Tardy didn't work, and dart didn't work. Is it the D? Might be the D. Yeah, it must be the D, mustn't it? D. Why didn't we work? Oh, no, 2 R's. Okay. Teary, nice. Still not enough though. Well, we did our best and we did well. I'm very happy with the level 7, and I guess we'll go and find someone to raid, and I'll find some outside to walk in. Let's see. Anyone of the people I'm following? I will drop by Hanny. All right, preparing the raid. Say hello to Hannylicious for me, and I'll see you on Thursday. Guys and folks, thank you for joining me. It was really, really fun today. We had great chats. We talked about a lot of stuff in the DevOps space, and this is always a lot of fun for me too. I hope you had fun yourself. I'd like to talk to you on Thursday when I'm doing another live coding, or more likely a live writing stream. And on Friday at 2 p.m. Irish time, I'm going to do my office hour, my weekly office hour, where I answer your questions. Even more than usual, because it's focused on just your questions. You do the programming during my office hours. So, I talk to you soon, and we're going to raid Hannylicious, so stay with me until we've switched over. Until next time, take care.